what's going on? This is Roddy Ferguson, 2004 Olympian, four-time national judo champion, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. And today I want to talk to you about something that I wrote a blog post on, and I sent the email out on a topic called, or it's titled, "Is MMA Barbaric? Is Mixed Martial Arts Barbaric?" A lot of individuals like to call MMA cage fighting, and the reason why that mixed martial arts practitioners don't like to refer to our sport as cage fighting, because cage fighting reduces it to two people in a cage just battling it out and fighting. The honest to God truth is that we are mixed martial artists, meaning we come with a skill set that is basically derived from the division, or you could say genre of fine arts. It comes out of gymnastics, out of human movement, out of the study of kinesis or kinesiology, if you will. How to manipulate one's body so that you can manipulate another individual or a situation, or take over land, or dominate space and time. This is what we call the art of war. This is what we study. It takes years, sometimes a lifetime, to actually be able to master one art, to be able to master Kung Fu, to be able to master karate, to be a master practitioner of a sport of judo or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And you can just imagine how difficult it is to master a sport like mixed martial arts. It's impossible. It's impossible to master mixed martial arts, because that would require you to master everything. I think Matt Hughes said it best when he said, if you do this sport long enough, you will lose. Because all you have to do is find someone who's the antithesis to your style. If you find that individual, they will beat you. I think that's another reason why you don't really see a standardized ranking system in mixed martial arts. If you had a standardized ranking system where 1 fought 2 and 3 fought 4 and 4 fought 5 or 5 fought 6, what you would see is matches similar to what you see at the Olympic Games or the World Championships and the finals. You see really close, tight matches where people are really implementing a lot of tactics in order to win by a small margin. What happens in mixed martial arts is they are looking for parity. So they look for a striker versus a grappler, or they look for a stand-up guy versus a ground guy, or they look for a person who has Muay Thai versus a person who has just boxing, so that you can create some parity, so that you can get a big knockout or create an exciting fight. But getting back to the topic, within all those things in terms of the excitement and the viewership and the sport itself, the question is still, is the sport violent? I don't find mixed martial arts to be barbaric, but I do believe it is violent. I believe football is violent. I believe NASCAR is violent. I believe that rugby is violent. I don't believe there is any physical sport which doesn't have some element of violence at the highest level. None. I don't care if it's wrestling, judo, rugby, sand shao, full contact karate. I don't care what the sport is. If it is a physical sport where men are, quote unquote, warring against one another for ownership of a thing or land, like in football, or the ball, as in soccer, or the puck, as in hockey, you will encounter a high level of violence sooner or later. That's just a fact. But the question of the day, is the sport barbaric? Is the sport of mixed martial arts barbaric? I would have to say no. By definition, it would have to lack sophistication for it to be barbaric. And the individuals in the sport of mixed martial arts don't lack sophistication. You have PhDs like Rosie Sexton and myself. You have people who have master's degrees like Rich Franklin, Jeff Munson. You have individuals who have bachelor's degrees, Chuck Liddell, Randy Couture, Daniel Cormier. You have people who have graduated from college, and this is just their profession. This is what they do for a living. For it to be barbaric, it would not have the high levels of cognitive iterations which are necessary in order to be successful. If it was barbaric. If it was barbaric, it would be just one or two levels above being primitive. It's not barbaric, no more than boxing is barbaric. Boxing isn't barbaric. Boxing is referred to as a sweet science. I believe that mixed martial arts is also a sweet science. I do believe that the problem that we see sometimes illustrated in the sport of mixed martial arts is that you have individuals who, because the sport is so in vogue, you have individuals who step in the cage and fight when they have no business in there. I mean, I've seen fights on some of these social media outlets where I see these guys with their gut runneth over, they're out of shape, they have no skill set, but I think they talk with their boys at the bar or at Hooters after watching a UFC fight and think it's a cool thing to do to go train for about 4 or 5 months and then hop in the cage. This is how injuries occur. This is how you see it. This is where you see this is how you can see the sport, and it looks like it's barbaric. It looks like it's barbaric. When you have the Tank Abbott style tough guy coming in the ring to just fight, that's barbaric. You could get away with that in the initial stages of mixed martial arts because, let's be honest, the level was low. There wasn't a high level of sophistication in terms of the training, in terms of the preparation. Such is not the case right now. There's no way for you to call the sport barbaric. Is the sport violent? Hell yes. Mixed martial arts is the most violent sport I have ever practiced. Hands down, without a doubt. And there is no and. Hell, it is the most violent sport I've ever practiced. But I've never had a rush like I get from MMA. And it's a calming rush because I don't really, it's not like a big hit in football where I go, ah, you know, and I'm just not, I don't have, you know, paroxysms of a sporting orgasm from MMA. I just don't have that. I said it in some interviews, and I'll say it now. It's a freedom, it's a calmness that comes over you from MMA, from being able to do the sport. It is so, I don't have a problem saying it's dangerous. It's so dangerous that it almost provides a high in a sense because it allows you to, I don't think there's any other sport. Well, I think there may be, I have not experienced any other sport which allows you to be so carefree